Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Would you please stand for the presentation of the colors? Color Guard, march on the colors. Ladies and gentlemen, by introduction tonight, the Color Guard is from Dunwoody High School. The Color Guard commander is Lieutenant Sheff. Assisting him is Lieutenant Aragon, Lieutenant Lee, and Technical Sergeant Wright. Please join me in the invocation. Dear Father of us all, we thank you for the many blessings that you've bestowed upon our city and our citizens over our first 6 years of history. You have given us wisdom to recognize opportunities to improve our community for citizens of all ages. You've given us volunteers who continue to step forward with an unbridled amount of expertise and enthusiasm. You've given us leaders to do what is good for the present and for the future of all of our community. We thank you for our police force and for our wonderful dedicated city staff who work tirelessly and without complaint for the safety of our citizens to make sure budgets are met and projects are completed, all for the enhancement of everyone. We thank you for the cooperation and the support of the businesses and corporations that make our city strong. But most of all, Father, we thank you for the team of 47,000 interested and knowledgeable citizens that live in the 13.9 square miles that is our community, the city of Dunwoody. For all of this, blessed Father, we are eternally grateful to you. Amen. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, and when you do, please, proper reverence is hand over your chest. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now my pleasure to introduce Al Dollar, who's a student at Georgia Perimeter College, who will be singing our national anthem this evening. Al?
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Just to repeat again, Al is from Georgia Perimeter College right here in our favorite city of Dunwoody. Please remain standing. Post the colors. How about a round of applause for our color guard? Well, I'm finished for the night, and I'll reintroduce to you Mr. Brent Morris, Chamber of Commerce Chairman.
Thank you all for taking some time out of your evening to come hear about the state of the city. You'll have to forgive me. I do have a few notes here. My fiance was nice enough to remind me that I'm so forgetful that I could hide my own Easter eggs. So, my name is Brent Morris. My company is Peachtree Benefit Group, and we help employers with their medical, dental, life, disability. So I am very familiar with the Affordable Care Act, and which is why I'm also bald. But the Chamber of Commerce is a wonderful, wonderful organization that began at the initiation of the city of Dunwoody. Our purpose is economic development, education, leadership, and advocacy. We serve about 350 different types of members, and that ranges from everyone from State Farm down to the 600-plus home-based businesses, or many of the 600-plus home-based businesses that we have here in the city of Dunwoody. So it runs a great gamut of their needs and desires. Ironically, a lot of those needs and desires overlap with what the residents of Dunwoody also want. And I'll explain some of those things here in a few minutes, but there are 47,000 residents in the city of Dunwoody. And to give you an idea, there are 2,400 business licenses issued in Dunwoody each year. The tax digest is 70% paid by those 2,400 businesses compared to the 47,000 residents. The nice thing about that is the average Dunwoody city tax is below $300. So please bear in mind that when you're visiting the businesses. I promise you, they're your friends, and they're also footing a lot of the bill. Overlapping goals are very important as well, but the goals that we have specifically for the Chamber of Commerce this year, I'm going to start out with education because this is the number one thing that companies look for when they're looking to relocate in Dunwoody, and that is education. Education is very near and dear to our heart at the Chamber of Commerce. We've already had the Teacher of the Year award. We've had the Principal of the Day, which was a really neat experience where a lot of CEOs got to go around and be the principal at each individual school, and I'm sure it was an eye-opening experience for very, very many of them. We've also written a letter in support of H.R. 4, which is House resolution put forward by Representative Tom Taylor. I'm sure Tom's here tonight. But that would enable us to have our own school system here in Dunwoody. And I think that anybody and everyone can appreciate that a fantastic school system and education system is what people are looking for when they're moving to an area. I know that's what my parents were looking for when they moved to this area in 1978. I am a proud product of Dunwoody Elementary and Dunwoody High School as well. So class of 1988, Wildcats. Some of our other goals are engagement. And again, this is another thing that many companies came to us and said, how do we get involved with the nonprofits? How do we get involved with the communities? A lot of the companies that move here and transition into the Dunwoody area don't want to just show up here, have their workers show up at the office and then leave and produce traffic. What they want to do is they want to be engaged in the community. They want to be part of it. A great example of this was last year when Doosan, also known as Bobcat, and then Oldcastle, a tremendous company that's been here in town for a long time, teamed up together with the Dunwoody Nature Center. And if those of you who have not been to the Dunwoody Nature Center in the past year to 18 months, I highly encourage you to go. You will be in awe at the transition that the businesses helped, the volunteer hours, the manpower, and the money that they spent in transitioning the Dunwoody Nature Center. It's phenomenal. So kudos to those two companies, but also that's what we aim to do at the Dunwoody Chamber of Commerce. Very lastly, one of our last goals is technology. And this is something that we've had restaurants approach us with. We've had a tremendous website developer, Adrienne Duncan, who's here in the audience tonight, I'm sure someplace, but she's been doing our website since the inception The website is great, and we always strive to do better. So you're going to see an improved website. You're going to see applications that enable people to be able to check in at different restaurants, to be able to get coupons and things like that. And we also want to be able to track those statistics. Some of the new things that are happening with the Chamber of Commerce this year. We have a new CEO and president, and her name is Stephanie Snodgrass. And Stephanie, I'm going to embarrass you, and please stand up and just give everybody a quick wave. Thank you. Stephanie has a lot more Chamber of Commerce experience than I do, and she is whipping our board into shape as we speak. We're learning new policies and procedures. She is fantastic. I please encourage you to definitely reach out to Stephanie or any board members or any members of the Chamber of Commerce throughout the year and just see what it is that the Chamber of Commerce is all about. I promise you, if you're in business, you'll appreciate it. Another new thing is we are going to be partnering with, how should I say partnering with? We are going to be on the same floor as the city of Dunwoody in about mid-year this year. Inclusive of that is also the Convention and Visitors Bureau. The Convention and Visitors Bureau was very integral and very gracious to help us out and putting us all together on the same floor. So now when businesses come to Dunwoody, they can go get their business license, they can go see the Convention and Visitors Bureau, they can come join the Dunwoody Chamber of Commerce. So we're very, very excited about that transition. And very last, we're going to be spending a lot of time getting these businesses and your businesses involved in the nonprofits. I know that I'm going to leave a few out, so please forgive me ahead of time, but the Dunwoody Homeowners Association, the Dunwoody Preservation Trust, Debbie Fuse, the Rotary Club. There are so many nonprofits, Sproul Arts Center here in Dunwoody that the businesses want to be involved with. So we look forward to that participation as well. And I ask that as you go out and dine in Dunwoody or shop in Dunwoody, ask the business owners if they're members of the Chamber of Commerce, because it's only going to help out the community. With that being said, on the stage here tonight, we've got Mayor Michael G. Davis. Thank you, Mike. We also have the Dunwoody Rotary Club President, Scott Jennings, and our new city manager, Eric Linton, and they're all going to be speaking to you tonight. We're going to make it brief. Right, Mike? And I'm sure that you'll get a lot of information. So thank you very much for coming tonight.
I understand in the past, Mayor Davis has taken a little bit of time, so I'm going to take a little bit more of his time. Not too much, though. But my name is Scott Jennings, and I'm the president of the Rotary Club of Dunwoody. And we are very excited as a Rotary Club to be a partner with the city and the chamber to help put on the 6th annual event for the city. It's a special opportunity to hear about the progress that's going on in our neighborhoods and around the 13.9 square miles. We've got great momentum. There's a wonderful outlook for our city, and we continue to be vibrant and growing, and that's what's exciting about being here. Let me take a moment to say some special thanks to our platinum sponsors for this event. JAT Consulting, down here in front, Jacobs Engineering, Clark Patterson Lee, and Dunwoody Green, John Whelan Homes. Let's give them a round of applause for their support of this event. Thank you all very much. I'd also like to thank all the VIP gold and silver sponsors. They are listed in your program. Please take a look at their names, whose generous support helped make this event possible. I hope you support all of these area businesses when you have the opportunity. Let me take a quick moment to share with you about one of Dunwoody's hidden treasures, and that is the Rotary Club of Dunwoody. There's some things you may not know about our club. Oh, I am sorry. Let me back up. Platinum Beach Dunwoody is also a platinum sponsor, so let's please give them some recognition. So I apologize for not having you on the list. Thank you, Platinum Beach. One of Dunwoody's hidden treasures, the Rotary Club of Dunwoody. What you may not know, let me share a few things. The Rotary Club of Dunwoody has been serving this local community and the international community for over 31 years. They were established in 1984, and we have almost 100 members strong who serve on behalf of the Rotary Club of Dunwoody and represent the Dunwoody community. We attract business leaders and community leaders not just from Dunwoody. People come to the Rotary Club of Dunwoody to serve because we get things done, and we do things not just on a local basis, but we are a part of a larger international organization, and there's some amazing things that are being done by Dunwoody Rotarians on behalf of our club all over the world. Our aim is to improve the lives and enhance communities through our service focus on education, public health, and public safety. On an annual basis, our club has an impact of over $100,000 in charitable works in the communities that we serve, and that's local and international, along with contributing thousands of hours of service time by our members. Locally, we support organizations like the Dunwoody Nature Center, the YMCA, Georgia Perimeter College, the Stage Door Players, Special Olympics, Dunwoody Police, and DeKalb Fire. Internationally, we engage our partners of other Rotary clubs around the world to do special projects in Africa. We are this close, y'all have seen the things, this close to eradicating polio around the world. Thank you, MJ. We provide preventive health services and to needy families and clean water in communities and much, much more beyond that. One of the ways we make all this happen is we partner with you, the business community. We have 50 partners in one of the largest things that we do as community facing, which is an event called Run Dunwoody, which is held, it's been held for 5 years now. We are happy, we're about the same age as the city, so we're gonna have our 6th in October 18th of this year, which is a Sunday out at Perimeter Mall. We just locked in that space as I understand it today. And it's important, it's an important partnership with the Dunwoody community, and it wouldn't happen without you. For the 5 years we've been doing it, we've raised over $150,000 in that event alone that has gone back into the communities here and internationally. So thank you for what you're doing, and we want to make this a signature event for not just us, but for Dunwoody. So with that, I would like to invite each of you to our club meetings. We can't do it without people, and we are always looking for more people who want to serve the way we do. And we think we reflect the Dunwoody community. We know how giving this community is. We meet on Friday mornings at 7:15 at the, I got to get the name of the hotel right, the Westin Atlanta Perimeter North. It's a mouthful. But we're welcome. We would love to see you there. Please come visit us. And with that, it is now my honor to introduce our mayor. I had the opportunity to speak with his mom prior to coming up on stage. I can't tell you what she told me. But I have had the opportunity to get to know Mike Davis over the last number of years as a Rotarian, as a neighbor, as our mayor. He is, what I can tell you, and you all know this if you know Mike. How many know Mike? Everybody knows Mike, pretty much. For those of you that don't know Mike, he is not from here. He's from the Northeast, Connecticut. But he's been here for a long time, 22 years. He's very passionate about our city. We're working on his southern accent, though. A little ways to go on that, but stick around a little longer, he'll get there. Mike is married to Mary Pat, and they have a number of children, daughters, 4 daughters, 2 daughters and 2 stepdaughters, all of which graduated from St. Jude, which is a common thread we have. My children go there. And then his kids went to St. Pius. We're a mayor's family. Sorry. Mike's always been involved with the communities that he serves and lives in, and you can tell that by how he serves our city. What you need to know is that Mike assured me, he spent 25 years in the chemical industry, but he's also a chili master. And we're not sure if he's putting chemicals in his chili or what. But we do understand that in the future there may be a Mike's Chili Barn and Beer Brewery coming to Dunwoody because he has those passions. But with no further ado, I'd like for you to welcome our mayor to the podium, Mr. Mike Davis.
You know, I had no idea what Scott was going to say, and I was a little nervous. Thanks, everybody, for coming. This is fabulous. This is a great crowd. It always is, and I go to a lot of the other State of the City addresses around the metro area, and we truly do it upright. And it's all because we get this great crowd that comes. Before I start, I was told I need to solve the traffic problem, so I want to do it right now up here. I've come to the conclusion that Thursdays are not the day to have events. And if you think about it, all the people who don't actually go to their office during the week, what day of the week do they go to the office? Thursday. They all take Friday off and go to the beach, they go to the mountains, whatever. But they all come to work on Thursday. So from now on, I'm not doing anything on Thursday nights because it's tough. So let me just begin. Let me tell you a little bit about my speech because I'm going to do something a little bit different this time. There's very few numbers in my speech. In the past, I've always told you how many miles of this we paved and how many number of potholes we fixed, and we do that every year, and we get better at it every year. So suffice it to say, we get better at it every year. So I'm not going to give you more numbers. We had a great success this year. We had a bit of a trying year, but we had a great success in 2014, and we're looking forward to a great 2015. And it's really because of you citizens. The businesses, the organizations, the community members, it's people out there in Dunwoody that make this happen. So, the first time I gave this speech, I totally forgot to mention my wife, and I got in a lot of trouble. So, my wife, Mary Pat, is here. So, sweetie, this is my shout out to you. I can honestly say I would not be here if it weren't for her. She is stuck with me the whole time, and she didn't know what I was going to say, so she's now laughing at that. I'm also honored, as Scott said, to have my mom here, Betty Pease. Mom, stand up. And, of course, my favorite daughter, Carolyn Zimney. And Mary Pat, thanks for coming. So, Mom, needless to say, I wouldn't be here without you either. So, hold on a second. Forgot my other notes. One of the part of this program is to make sure we honor all the elected representatives that are here tonight. So as I call your name, please stand up and stay standing while I go through the whole list. It's a fairly long list, but none of us that are elected, none of the names that you're going to hear here make very much money as elected representatives. People when people hear what I make, they say, "What?" So, give them a round of applause because these people are very important. And save your applause till I get all of them standing. But Nancy Jester, our new DeKalb County Commissioner. Her husband, Stan Jester, our DeKalb County School Board. Donna Pittman, the mayor of Doraville. Joe Gebbia, Brookhaven City Council. Liz Hausman, Fulton County Commissioner. There you are, thank you. Lori Christopher, Peachtree Corners Commissioner. I think she was going to leave early, but if she's still here, I think she left. And then, then of course, least but not last, of course, is my own city council here in Dunwoody. And I call them my own, but I think they have me more than I have them. Denny Shortle, you met him a minute ago doing the invocation and the color guard. Terry Knoll, Lynn Deutsch, Doug Thompson, Jim Reiteicher, and John Hennigan. And thank you, everybody. And let me just thank again the sponsors that we have here, and make sure, I'm going to start off with the one that we screwed up, Planet Beach Dunwoody. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for being here. And we have JAT and Jacobs and Clark Patterson Lee and Dunwoody Green, John Wieland Holmes. Thanks, everybody, for coming. It really, this is what makes this. So thank you again. And let me just have one more group stand up, two more groups, actually. All of you who came from the Chamber of Commerce and the Board of Directors of the Chamber, and all of you who came from the Rotary, please stand up. They're the ones who planned this event. They're the ones who put all these gift bags on together and then brought them over here and made sure they were here for the party today. So I want to make sure that they got recognition. So let's look back on 2014. And it really gives me great pleasure to report that we did it again. We did a great job. It was not an easy year. It was sometimes a little more difficult than past, and I'll explain that as I go. But it was a good year for us. We accomplished a lot. We met our goals. We got a lot of things done, and we accomplished great things. And we did it all within what is one of the lowest millage rate budgets in the state. We charge 2.74 mills. Is that part of the tax bill that you actually pay to Dunwoody? And as Brett said, the average home pays roughly $450 a year of your total property tax bill to the city of Dunwoody to make this work. All the rest of the money goes to the county school system and the county government in general. So here we are in year number 6. We've had 6 years to play catch up on the infrastructure needs that the county left us with and was pretty much the reason we wanted to become a city in the first place. We continue to focus on addressing those infrastructure needs. But as leaders of the city, we also have to take care of the needs beyond just potholes and parks. And this is what I really want to talk about tonight. Our obligation is to create a sense of space. A sense of place is something that we all know when we find it. You've all been there when you enter a community or a town or just an area of a town, and you get there and you say, now this place has a certain sense, a certain panache. You feel that you've now entered something special. And it's funny, before I became mayor, and probably most of you, we just assumed that these things happened by accident, that they just kind of grew organically. That you go to a place like Canton Street in Roswell or Decatur's Courthouse Square, and it just happened. Well, it doesn't just happen. It takes a vision, a plan, a budget, and oftentimes a lot of salesmanship. Decatur calls their Courthouse Square area their 20-year overnight miracle. Same thing with Canton Street. The pushback that the citizens gave to the city council in Roswell when they suggested paying $2.5 million to bury all the overhead wires and turn that into a restaurant mecca, people thought they were crazy. And a few of them got voted out of office for it. And look what they have. Look what they have now. Every city in the North Metro area wishes they could have a Canton Street. That's what we're trying to do with Dunwoody Village Parkway. So sometimes it takes a stiff spine and, as I said, some salesmanship to get things going. And things do get tough sometimes. But think about the places you've been to that have that sense of place. And how can we bring this to Dunwoody? Think about Greenville, South Carolina, Carmel, California, Annapolis, Maryland, Charleston, South Carolina. Think of those places. Think about when you go there, you get a sense of something good is happening here. And that's what we're trying to do here in Dunwoody. These are all cities that I really love. These are all places where as soon as you enter them, you sense that something special has happened. And that's what elected leaders help make happen. It doesn't just happen organically. It doesn't just happen by itself. So what we're talking about is trying to do that in a number of places in Dunwoody. And I'll talk about a little bit about that. You know, when you get off 285 and enter Georgetown, we have big plans there. And the whole idea is as you turn left into Georgetown, you automatically just, you feel your blood pressure go down, you feel your pulse go down, and you say, I'm home. And that's the whole point of this. And that's how you know when you've gotten that sense of place. So the sense of places we're trying to work on now is the Brook Run Park and the trail that we've done there, the Georgetown Gateway plan that I just mentioned, the master plan that we're now working on with Winters Chapel and Peeler area with our friends over in Peachtree Corners. Don't get me wrong, we've achieved a lot of things in the 6 years, but we're here to create a better Dunwoody. And you've probably heard that slogan being thrown around a lot. I think it started with Terry Nall over here on our city council. That's where I first heard it. Everybody was talking about, we want to create a better Dunwoody. And I think that starts with a sense of place that we all can feel and understand. So how do we get to that? How do we get there? How do we get that Greenville, that Carmel, that Annapolis, that Charleston? So as I look at the state of the city of Dunwoody, I see good things. I see everything that we're doing is being done right. Everything we're doing is moving forward. As I look back on 2014, it would be impossible to talk about the past without first mentioning someone who made it very successful for us. As you all know, the past 9 months of 2014, we had one of our city's all-stars step up to the plate. This individual's stellar performance and game-time energy was called upon time and time again, and he delivered. He not only picked up the ball and ran with it, but was able to shoot, score, often receiving a perfect 10 from the judges. He's blocked, skated, skid, dunked, and tackled most of the problems thrown his way. I'd like to give a special thanks to the man who served as Dunwoody's acting city manager from April to December of 2014, our police chief, Billy Grogan. Billy, can you come up? Where'd he go? There he is. This is a gift for Billy for the shelf of many awards Billy's won over his career. And this is Chief Billy Grogan, Outstanding Services, Acting City Manager 2014. Chief, we couldn't have done it without you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. You didn't have to do that. But I appreciate it.
You know we appreciate you. Thanks for all standing up. He deserves it. He stepped up when we needed it and settled the city down and moved us forward and kept the ball rolling as all my alliterations to sports metaphors just were moving forward there. He is truly one of our great ones. I also want to, while I'm up here, I don't have an award for her, but I got to say a shout out to Sharon Lowry. We not only lost our city manager during that period, but we also lost our court clerk. And she stepped in, continuing to do her own job, standing over there in the corner. She continued to do her own job. Ran the court for us, and she was pretty much the go-to person for me and most of the city. She was, I can only think of one word that really describes what she did. She was the glue that held the whole thing together. So Sharon, I love you. So now Dunwoody accomplished a lot in 2014, and all the basic things that cities are supposed to do, like infrastructure improvements, and like I said, I'm not going to give you numbers. Our roads, our sidewalks, our stormwater projects, upholding a great police force, adding to our police force, and creating that safe community. And that's really, I got to stop there for a second because safe community is the key to this. Once you lose the illusion or the impression of safety, everything else falls apart for a city. So, Chief, again, you hold it together, and everyone believes it's a safe place to live, work, and play, and it's all due to our police force and the effort our city council puts in making sure that we continue to have the best police force out there. Along with that, we also are improving our public parks and trails and green space, attracting and retaining businesses, and providing for a financially healthy and transparent city. Transparency is a big thing for us. I'll talk a little bit about what we've done. Recently, we opened up a new product, and when you go to our website, we have a brand new website, so I'm going to just hit on this for a second. We have a brand new website, and if you've ever started a web or created a website from one that already existed, it takes a few months for all of the search engines around the world to find where your new links are. So in the beginning, a lot of things weren't going to where they should have gone, or at least where you thought they should have gone, they weren't going. But one of the interesting things we added to our website is a program called opengov.com. And it's really amazing. What we do is we actually just send a spreadsheet of all of our transactions to OpenGov, and they load on the most amazing information onto our website where you can dial in and all the way down to the check register and find out how we spend our money, where it goes, how the decisions are made. And so all of our financial stuff is done that way, and it really is amazing. I first heard about it, I brought it to Chris and Chris Pike, our finance manager, and it blew me away what this thing could do. So check it out when you get a chance. It's on the transparency link of our page. There's a number of ways to get there through either the finance page, but I go through the transparency page, and it's pretty cool. So instead of, as I promised not to quote a bunch of numbers, we're going to go ahead and show a video of our 2014 achievements. So as you can see, we accomplished a lot in 2014. Things that we are achieving today are a result of proper planning. And that was all 2014 stuff. But what I want to talk a little bit about, and the other thing I'm going to bring up a lot tonight, is our comprehensive plan. And this all started, and all these ideas started 5 years ago when we brought our citizens together and asked, what do you want Dunwoody to become? And the key is creating your comprehensive plan and starting there and using that as your roadmap for the next 5 years. So the comprehensive plan is the playbook that we follow, and everything we do comes out of that playbook. But updating the plan requires citizen input and participation. So over the next 6 months, we'll be having workshops and public meetings to shape Dunwoody for the future. So the same comprehensive plan we did 5 years ago, we're going to do again starting over the next 6 months. And you can pick up some information out front where you were waiting out in the lobby to get some information about that, because it's all about your input. So I urge you to get involved in these public meetings and workshops, because we really can't do this. We can't create this sense of place without you. You know, the comp plan sets the direction for the city and what we will do for the next 5 years. If you don't agree with what the city's working towards, now is your chance. If you don't think if you think we're going in the wrong direction, now is your chance. If you think we're not listening, now is your chance. Because the city is going to act upon what you set out in our comprehensive plan going forward for the next 5 years. This is our guidebook. The citizens told us what they wanted 5 years ago, and we did that. So now get involved and help us map the city for the next 5 years. So earlier I thanked Chief Grogan for stepping up as our acting city manager while we conducted a search for a new permanent city manager. In our search, we teamed up with some local leaders, a couple of them are here tonight, searched through more than 80 qualified candidates, agreed we needed a handful of things. An experienced city manager, of course, but something we were looking for with certain qualities to help guide Dunwoody forward. And so we were looking for someone experienced with zoning and planning. We were looking for someone with local familiarity and knowledge of the Dunwoody area. And lastly, someone who had the expertise of municipal management. And it was a tall order to find someone with all those qualifications. We were hoping to get 2 out of the 3. Well, we're pleased to say we got 3 out of the 3. And while this is my speech, I'm actually going to turn the microphone over to our city manager, Eric Linton, for a few words. So, Eric.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Mayor. I appreciate it. I'm honored to be here tonight. And I'd like to start out by thanking the Dunwoody City Council, as well as the citizens and members of the selection committee. I appreciate the confidence you had in me as a professional and as a team leader. So I'm glad to be here tonight. I'm eager to dig in and start and help guide the city of Dunwoody towards an even greater future and success. I mean, Dunwoody has a great history, and I'm glad to be part of that. For those of you who don't know me, I look forward to the chance when I can get to meet you and discuss the vision that you have for Dunwoody as well. But until then, allow me to provide a few details on my background. I'm very familiar with Dunwoody. I grew up just inside 285, just a stone's throw from here. I graduated from Chamblee High School. I went on to Georgia Tech to earn a bachelor's degree and master's degree from there. Then I started out my career in planning and zoning, working at both the municipal and the county level. I've been here about a month and a half, so I'm still new, learning my way around City Hall there. But in that month and a half, I've learned that Dunwoody is has a very active and involved citizen community. Dunwoody has a strong structure in place that's necessary for success. The Dunwoody staff and elected officials share a dedication for excellent customer service, and Dunwoody has a character that sets it apart from other cities. So all that, I'm glad to be part of all that. Those are things that I look for and things that I look forward to in the future. I believe all these make great items for that success, and I'm eager to work with the City Council on all the business and the businesses and the citizens to improve our infrastructure, promote smart development, and offer one-of-a-kind parks and facilities and ensure safety and protection for everyone. But I'm going to conclude there, and I want to thank you for your time tonight, and appreciate you attending this great event. And Mayor Davis, I'll turn it back over to you. Thank you. I know. Let me, there we go.
Take it off.
Thank you.
Thanks, Eric. We truly are thrilled to have him on board. He's, it's interesting. I was trying to think of superlatives to say about Eric because I really like the guy, and I was thinking that when you get to know him, he truly is a genuinely nice guy, and and I don't know about you guys, but I love working with nice people. And a lot of not every time in your life do you have that opportunity to pick and choose who you can work with. And so I'm thrilled to have Eric here. So on the horizon, we have many projects and initiatives to address. Infrastructure and public safety, improve our great parks and amenities, and recruit and retain more businesses. But what I'd like to come back to is working together to create that sense of place again. It's what can make Dunwoody great. A unique sense of place can be the reason why people move here. Corporations are coming to Dunwoody because millennials are coming here. That is the workforce of the future for these companies. If millennials want to come here, the companies will come here. Those companies need talented and educated workforce to grow. You look at the two high-profile companies that came last year and now this year, State Farm and now Mercedes-Benz. That is a huge deal for Dunwoody. And we look at what it is or how we're attracting these companies and what it is that's coming our way. And it really comes down to the fact that State Farm, as I told you last year, was having to scrap its business model of having offices all over the country in the major cities, in every major city in the country, because the young millennials were saying, I am not willing to come work for you, and the only way I can move up in the organization is move from city to city to city to city. If you recall, the head guy here in Atlanta for State Farm has moved 19 times. He's on his third wife. I wonder if there's a connection. Well, we're looking at Mercedes-Benz is looking at the same thing. Interestingly, as they were looking at cities to move to, Atlanta popped up very high on the list. Number one, Atlanta is considered a Tier 1 city in their mind. They wanted to come to a Tier 1 city. They wanted to come south. So there's really only 3 Tier 1 cities in the south, and the same 3 cities that State Farm moved to, Phoenix, Dallas, and Atlanta. State Farm picked the affluent suburbs of all 3 of those, Tempe, Richardson, and Dunwoody. Well, that's exactly what Mercedes is doing. Mercedes has made the mistake of choosing to move into Sandy Springs permanently, but they're coming to Dunwoody for the first 3 years. Now they're taking about 150,000 square feet across the street from California Pizza Kitchen in the Sterling office building. So they'll be there for the 3 years, and we just may not let them leave. But you look at the key qualities, and let's understand what it is. These millennials and these companies, because they're both looking at the same thing. What is it that makes them want to come to this area, the perimeter area? And we call it Dunwoody, but it's really the greater perimeter area is what I'm talking about. And I look at 5 distinguishing factors that when I talk to these companies, why they came, here's their answers. Number 1 is Dunwoody's location. Access to major highways, MARTA, regional executive airport. Number 2 is the shopping and the restaurants. Some of the best in the metro area. Number 3 is the executive housing. They can bring their white-collar employees and know that their white-collar employees can live a couple miles away from work. Next one is the top quality hospitals right on our border. This is important to companies. And finally, it's the Class A office space and also all the corporate headquarters that are already here. So these are the features that make Dunwoody desirable. And the funny thing is there's a list of 5 items on there, and most cities would give anything to have 2 of those. We have all 5. So we need to continue to find ways to attract companies and make sure that they want to be in this area. So let's talk a little bit about housing. We talk about the fact that we have the executive housing here, and that's big. But we also have to make sure we have all the multiple options for these people that are coming to work for these companies. For every stage of life. Think about your own life, where you are now and where you were when you were younger or where you're planning on being when you're older. We already have that complete city. You think about it when what we have in that complete city is, we provide an excellent place to grow up. It's our great parks, our safe neighborhoods. It's our swim and tennis clubs in our schools. And as our kids graduate, they can choose from 10,000 existing apartment units in the city, get a great job, move into one of the thousands of jobs that are here in Dunwoody, jobs that offer employment opportunities, professional development, and upward mobility. And then think about what happens next. Get engaged, get married, get a townhome, get a condo, start having kids, move into the cul-de-sac, get the dog, get the big yard. And finally, they go into the empty nester, and they're looking to downsize. They're looking for maybe that condo and that townhome again. And the whole point of this is, once we have you, we don't want to let you go. You come to Dunwoody right out of college, you get yourself that apartment. We intend to keep you until you're an empty nester looking to move back into that apartment or that townhome or that condo. So interestingly, and for those of you who live in Dunwoody, everybody I know knows somebody in their neighborhood who grew up in Dunwoody, maybe even that same neighborhood, came back and raised their family. And that's what I really love about Dunwoody. And we delivered. Now it's your chance. This is your roadmap. Pick up some of the information at the table outside, and if you don't want to get involved, don't tell me 3 years from now that you don't like which direction the city's going in. Because we follow, unlike a lot of cities, we actually follow our comprehensive plan. And that comprehensive plan comes from the citizens. So with your help, we will be able to create a better Dunwoody. Thanks for coming.